Namaskar. This is our 7th webinar where different collaborating centers are presenting, and we have one more to go on 12th, and that will conclude this series. So today again we have 6 centers, and every center will take 10 to 12 minutes to present. I request everybody else to keep their mics on mute, and if the presenters are showing any video, etc., then also to be quiet in the background, the presenters themselves. So we will begin with Sri Aurobindo Center for Advanced Research from Puducherry, SACAR. So please go ahead and start your presentation.
Thanks to everyone and namaste from Sri Aurobindo Center for Advanced Research, SACAR. Didi, do I have the permission to share my screen? Is my screen visible? Yeah, thank you. So Sri Aurobindo Center for Advanced Research, we abbreviate it as SACAR, SACAR. SACAR was conceived perhaps on the 10th of February 1969, when Dr. Anand Reddy, the founder of this institute, presented his sketches to the mother of her four aspects on his birthday. That's on 10th of February. The mother asked him, "Which one is Maheshwari?" And he showed the sketch, and there was no further conversation. Years later, when SACAR came into existence, Dr. Reddy realized that actually, in his ignorant heart, a seed was sown long back in 1969 for this kind of a work, for which the mother had blessed him. Another occasion where SACAR has come into existence, this is the sketch which Sir had presented to the mother of Maheshwari. Another occasion was in somewhere around 1972-73, when Professor Madhusudan Reddy wrote to the mother that he wanted to make a university in the name of Sri Aurobindo, and presented to the mother with the proposal and some names, a few names, out of which the mother selected Sri Aurobindo Darshan, the University of Tomorrow, and gave her the blessings. So this was perhaps the two seeds that were laid with the two founder members, Dr. Ananda Reddy and Professor Madhusudan Reddy, for a research center, for a higher learning center in Puducherry. In 1992, it was then that this seed was sown onto the ground, and the laying of the foundation ceremony was carried forward by Sri Dyuman Bhai, Sri MP Pandit, and other luminaries who were present at that moment. It was done on 29th of February 1992. It was an auspicious moment for everyone at SACAR. However, this project did not start until 1998 for the lack of funds and certain logistical problems. Later, when Dr. Reddy decided to start this project in 1998, Pranab Mukherjee of the ashram, a senior sadhak, he gave his blessings of 101 rupees to Dr. Reddy and told him that open your account in the bank with this amount, and take care that each rupee is of the mothers, and safeguard that every penny that you get to build this beautiful project. Another hand which was instrumental in bringing about this project was Nirodha. He loved this project, and everybody who would visit him, he would send him to SACAR to go and see the building, to go and see the place. And this is how Nirodha visited many times while it was being constructed. It was him who inaugurated it in the year 2000, on the same date, 29th February 2000. So from University of Tomorrow, it was named SACAR because university could had certain norms, and we could not call a small institute a university in India. So we had to call it Sri Aurobindo Center for Advanced Research. Another proof of this building to have come up with the mother's blessing is when Hutaben visited it in the year 2002. When she saw this building in its raw in this form as you are seeing it right now, she commented. In fact, she asked Dr. Reddy, when was it built? And when he was told that she was told that it was built only in the year 2000, she confirmed that she had seen this building in the occult, and every color, every window, every shape that is present in the building was seen by her in the occult plane. So we feel very happy to know that this building had an occult presence, a presence in the occult, and it was brought down here at Puducherry in Vaithikupam. Later, of course, you can see here a scholar's home or a small guest house was built for the scholars here in the year 2008. And these are some of the details. We have a small meditation place where we begin our day, a beautiful, lovely garden, and a terrace, a kitchen space, library facility. And of course, in the year 2013, there came an opportunity when SACAR could extend itself towards Auroville. And near the place in Auroville, in a private land, we bought a place and named it Aurovidya Retreat. The place came into existence in 2018, where Dr. Karan Singh inaugurated it, and it started functioning. It's an extension of SACAR and a retreat center. So the activities that we want to extend to this center, we take it according to our convenience. So this is the visit of Manojda, the trustee of SACAR, trustee of Sri Aurobindo Ashram. Now coming to the activities of SACAR, since the very beginning, SACAR had a mission that it would run online courses, mostly online courses. So from the beginning, that is how we were functioning. Then another wing that we have is a research wing and a publication wing. This is more for information that the pedagogy that we used was to be very specifically online, all-inclusive, based on free progress, and research had to be systematic, historical, etc. These are the name of some of the courses, not all. This is not an exhaustive list. Now, SACAR has a research project which is running right now. It is called India on the March. This project, rather its parent project called the Mankind on the March, was again proposed by Professor Madhusudan Reddy to the mother in around 1972-73. And the mother was extremely happy to bless him to write or to make people write about 12 volumes minimum of well-read, well-done research on the evolutionary approach to mankind and its culture. So SACAR has taken up a pilot project of that, which is called India on the March, and we are working towards it right now. There are other projects in hand, like what we call Insurgent Sri Aurobindo, that will begin very soon, sometime this year, we hope. SACAR has published about 18 to 20 books till now, and about 20 to 25 are in the pipeline, which have undergone editing, and we are in the process of finalizing them. The talks are the books are mostly based on the talks given by Dr. Anand Reddy for more than 12 to 15 years on the life divine, on the synthesis of yoga, the mother, Savitri, etc., and also by other scholars and authors who have written on Sri Aurobindo. As far as the resources are concerned, we have about 2,000 hours of recorded audio-video talks. Some are in audio and some in video. Some have been transcribed. Most of them have been transcribed. And of course, we have an app which is in the making and a website. These are some of our activities. We have been conducting, in fact, SACAR has conducted till date about 600 or so on-site events, apart from the online courses that we have been conducting since the very beginning. So more than 600, and with a minimum of 2 or 3 of maximum 4 faculty members, 4 we don't call them employees but members at SACAR, 3 or 4 SACARians. We have been doing this. So from value education to ICPR seminars to ICCR conferences to ISOL conferences, Madras Management Association, a lot of people have come and collaborated with us, and we have conducted seminars and conferences with them. We've also done regional language seminars. The last photo below, the third one, is of the Marathi camp, which we have conducted more than about 20 camps till now. So these also are students who have come from Maharashtra, and we are addressing them. So apart from this, SACAR is still aspiring. We are developing new courses, new projects, and so we look forward to the students coming in. We have had faculty members who are doctorates, and therefore the students who aspire to do PhD in Sri Aurobindo studies, they come for some preparatory courses to SACAR, and we are able to help them in their work. Also, you can see SACAR has been blessed with a lot of stalwart speakers who have been coming, giving talks at our place. So everybody's photo we could not include in this presentation, but we had speakers from Dr. N.V. Nadkarni, Dr. R.Y. Deshpande, Mr. Rajiv Malhotra, and many other people who have come. We've had many collaborations, but the recent ones have been with MSU Baroda, IGNOU, and right now we have with Auro University and Ravenshaw University. Now, for those who would like to collaborate with SACAR, these are a few options. We can conduct workshops in collaboration with SACAR with a residential facility that many people have done before with us. Then partner with the online workshops, training programs, etc., like we are doing with James with Namaha. Then people can volunteer in editing our books, or you can enroll for research or suggest somebody to do research with us, or you can financially support us by sponsoring a scholar or donating to SACAR. So there is much more that we can say, but if there's anything that I have missed out or anybody wants to ask, I'd be happy to respond. But we are very happy and to be a part of this collaboration, Sri Aurobindo Integral Education Network, because SACAR has been following this from its very inception. We try to impart these values. We ourselves try to follow it, and the Integral Education Network is also trying to do the same. So we are very happy to be a part of it from the very day it was conceived. Thank you.
Hello, dear friends. It's a great delight for me to be with you today. My name is Ritam Melgunov. I'm from St. Petersburg, Russia. I am for 30 years translating Sri Aurobindo's works into Russia, and in the mother's work, I have translated the entire Savitri into Russian, and the synthesis of yoga and many other poems by Sri Aurobindo, and many compilations. Around 40 books have been published in Russia in my translation, up to date. I participate in the mother's work connected with the ashram Auroville, participated in Auroville International, and writing poetry inspired by Sri Aurobindo, doing photography also. And I am a member of this organizing team of WAG, our All Russia Conference or All Russia Meeting. In English, it abbreviates to ARM, but in Russia, Всероссийская Аура Конференция abbreviates to WAG. It's a Sanskrit Vedic word, goddess of speech, a creative word, a personality of the Divine Mother. So when we started this movement in Russia in 2003. This name actually was my idea, and the symbol also came to me as a vision. And it was a very interesting how it started. I have a very good friend of mine, Chandresh Patel, who is formerly a member of Auroville International, ex-student of the ashram, and my good friend. And he came on a visit to me in St. Petersburg in June 2003. And then we visited our friends in Moscow, Igor and Nina Zenkin. And suddenly Chandresh gave this idea that why don't we organize this all Russia meeting like in some other countries people do. And we were greatly inspired by this idea. So we started to try to organize it, although we had only 2 months to organize it from zero, and it was a great challenge. And there was a lot of opposition from the hostile forces actually, but then still we managed to do it. And we did it also with my good friend Alexei Klementiev, and we found a very great venue actually. We live in Gatchinat. It's a famous former royal residence of the Russian emperors in the suburbs of St. Petersburg. And so we managed to rent for the 15th of August 2003 a hall in this great palace of the Russian kings. And so miraculously, by the Mother's grace, we could meet in this fantastic palace surrounded by the beautiful parks. This is my photograph. This is also, and
we can only see a static screen. We are not seeing the photos.
Oh, really?
Not seeing the slides. We can only see one screen with all the slides.
Oh, one moment. Like this? No.
You can stop sharing your screen and share it again with the presentation.
Okay.
We can, yeah.
Can you see it now?
Yes. Now it's fine.
Okay, then I will show from a little bit from the beginning. That here are our symbols, which I was mentioning. And this is some of our group photos. And this is my good friend Chandresh Patel, Igor and Nina Zenkin, and we with Alexei Klementiev, my friend. So we started our conference first time on 15th of August 2003 in this great palace of the Russian emperors. And there is a very interesting symbolic historical connection also that this palace formerly belonged to Catherine the Great, whom we know to be an incarnation of the mother, and she presented it to her son, Paul I. And so it's a kind of symbolic that the first meeting of Russian devotees, children of the mother, took place in this palace connected with her previous birth and with her son. So it's a very interesting symbolic connection. And here are some photos. These photos are by me. It's my native town where I live and from where I'm speaking now. And this is our first meeting in the beautiful hall of the palace. And around 60 people attended the meeting. It was really a great event for the development of the integral yoga in Russia, because before that, people who are interested in the integral yoga, they didn't have never any connection. And in this meeting, so many people from different cities of Russia could come together, and so we knew each other, we made all these connections, established a very good friendship, and it started to develop. These are people of the first meeting, and since then we are in contact by email. We have email group, we have a group in WhatsApp and social networks, and we communicate in a very beautiful spirit of fraternity, friendship, goodwill, and a very soulful relation. And since then, this community of people who are interested in Sri Aurobindo and Mother in Russia, they all became connected, so many different cities and people. And since 2003, every year we organize our meeting on Sri Aurobindo's birthday. First meeting lasted for 3 days, but then we wanted to spend more and more time together. So sometimes it was around a week, sometimes even 10 days. And more people attended, up to 120 people sometimes. Basically, we are an open, informal community. We don't have any particular center or structure. It's just this open, friendly community of people who are interested in the ideals of Sri Aurobindo and the Mother. And everyone is welcome to join our meeting on the 15th of August. Everyone can bring any creative ideas, any input which is in tune with the general ideas of the meeting. And the main idea for us just to meet on Sri Aurobindo's birthday, to celebrate this so beautiful and great event, and to be together in this atmosphere of devotion and aspiration to meet this very special day. And so we continue in this way to develop, to grow. First meetings, there was a lot of talks by me on Savitri, because at that time almost nobody could read English to such extent to know English that to read Savitri in the original. And I have been translating by that for some 15 years already, Savitri. So I tried to share my knowledge and understanding of Savitri with people. So it was very nice time to share Savitri, and now many people read and study Savitri by themselves. And the main activities which we have, the main ideas in our community is, first of all, that we let people to come together. All those who are interested in Sri Aurobindo and the Mother, they can come, and at the center of our community there are people who are connected with the Mother's work, with the ashram Auroville for many years, and so we can share with new people some proper information about Sri Aurobindo and the Mother, their vision, the ashram Auroville, and the international communities of the integral yoga. The second, that we provide different lectures, talks on different subjects of yoga. And third, that we help people to connect with India with the ashram Auroville. So many people come to India, to the ashram, to Auroville after participating in our conference. And since many of us come to India every year for the mother's birthday especially, so we help other people to participate also. We also try to invite guests from India to make alive this connection. Some prominent speakers. First who came to Russia was Dr. Ananda Reddy. Just now there was a presentation of his university, and it was just before first WAC started. It was one of the first very great impulses for the development in Russia. Then we invited also Chandresh Patel and Mohan Mistry from Sri Aurobindo Ashram. Lovely photographs from our meeting from going in St. Petersburg. Then we invited several times Dr. Alok Pandey of Sri Aurobindo Ashram, our very beautiful good friend. And this is Sushil from the ashram, our very good friend. Also, he accompanied Dr. Alok. I usually translate talks of Alok Bhai in Russia. So these are very beautiful events for us to feel this connection with India, with other devotees established in the yoga. Narad also, as far as I know, today is his birthday. So congratulations, happy birthday to him. Also nice, he conducts Om choir in Russia, and also many sharings and discussions. Also Tara Didi, first time she came with her sister Lata Didi of Sri Aurobindo Ashram. It was very nice event. And then she came also for our meeting with her team. Anju Didi also. Very beautiful and nice talks, sharings, also very heartfelt and soulful atmosphere. Also, we invited Arnab Chaudhuri, a musician and speaker, and our good friend from connected with the ashram and Auroville. He gave different musical presentations and exercises, and his Know Your Rhythm program. Vladimir Yatsenko, also a Sanskrit scholar, came on a visit to share his Vedic knowledge. So there are beautiful events during our meetings. Book distributions, of course, these are mostly books translated by me, and many readings, collective readings of Savitri in English and Russian, different lectures. Talks, meditations, chantings of mantras, of course, sharings. Very good and beautiful and cordial atmosphere, a lot of smiles and laughter, of course. We have also different physical practices in the morning, just to refresh our energy. Swimming, of course, Hatha yoga, many different events, like playing also here, Alok Bhai playing with our team. Each year we try to find some beautiful venue for our meetings in natural surroundings. Mostly these are different retreat centers, mostly around St. Petersburg, sometimes near to Moscow and some other cities also. Just few photographs. Our favorite place is the Golden Hill. It's a retreat center not far from St. Petersburg, on a shore of a beautiful lake. Even the name is very symbolic. So very beautiful natural locations. And here is a very special photograph on Sri Aurobindo's Darshan. Just by chance, 2014, I photographed a heavenly body descending from above. Very unusual photograph. It's a Savetsky Island, also not far from St. Petersburg. It's an island in Baltic Sea. Very beautiful natural surroundings also. Different ways to stay, sometimes quite basic, but we are happy to be together. Very nice scenery also. Couple of times we organize our meetings even in Ukraine, near Odessa, also beautiful Black Sea. Svetlo Yar Lake, it's a special lake, Nizhny Novgorod, middle of Russia. The lake is supposed to be created by a meteorite descending. One beautiful retreat center near Moscow, also in Buddhist atmosphere and style. It's our Gatchina, also beautiful lakes. So there is a lot of karma yoga, also preparing with love our space, altars, and even creating mother symbols in snow in winter. Sometimes we meet also in more local meetings and mother's birthday also, and on other darshans. A lot of creativity also. We have special creative evenings where everybody can share their creativity, all kind of chantings, songs, dances, music, also national Russian songs, readings of poetry, dance, painting, music. And my photos usually decorate the halls. I love to photograph flowers with mother significances. Also Himalayas, butterflies, beautiful surroundings. Playing guitar also. Here are our people, just to see happy faces on the meetings, to feel the atmosphere. So we are very happy to be all in contact and to be able to share and to grow our aspiration to the mother, to Sri Aurobindo, to meet on this very special day of Sri Aurobindo's birthday. So it's we are very grateful to the mother and Sri Aurobindo that we are together and we can meet like this. We can share, we are in contact with each other, and we can help each other to grow our aspiration. Some beautiful moments. Very beautiful people, full of soul and love and joy. Happy children of the Divine Mother in Russia. So I think these are all our activities. Just a few more pictures. In every meeting at the end on the 15th of August, end of the darshan, we have special fiery puja, offering small candles to Sri Aurobindo and the mother's altar, like a symbol of our dedication, aspiration. So it's a very beautiful ceremony atmosphere. Even on the snow. This is our aspiration and our work. I hope I gave a picture of our activities. I will put all these presentation photographs on my website, ritam.ru, so you can always see it all there. And in case you would like to contact our community, you can contact me via the website or my email, savitri@inbox.ru. And I'm in contact with all our community, so you are always welcome for any proposals, communications, creativity, visits. Thank you.
My name is Sanjeev Ranganathan, and as she mentioned, I'm at Auroville, and I'll be presenting SAIER, which is the Sri Aurobindo International Educational Institute of Educational Research. It's a very old institution. It's started in 1984, and I have been in Auroville only for 9 years. So in a way, it is a great honor for me to present SAIER. But before I present it is an umbrella organization which encompasses a lot of the educational activities in Auroville. I would just like to give my personal journey in the last 9 years that has been supported by Auroville. and actually at SAIER. So actually my background is in electronics. I have a PhD in electronics. I studied in the US. I built over 1 billion chips. And I came to Auroville looking for a higher and deeper life. And one of the first things I started doing is teaching in schools. So I started teaching in SAIER schools, Tasmanic schools. And then I met many youth from in Auroville and around Auroville who had completed engineering. You can't hear me?
I can hear you, but somebody is saying they can't.
Yes. So I wondered what is the right thing to do. And a sort of inspiration came to me of finding a way of synthesizing my life, of bringing together, not able to see the speaker. All right, maybe you should spotlight me.
Okay, we are, I think maybe something at the...
She put it in speaker mode and you can spotlight me.
I'm in the speaker mode only, the gallery.
You can click on me and spotlight me, not in the gallery, in the speaker mode.
Okay, I've done that now.
Yeah, they say they can see me now. Thank you. And so in that moment, I felt that perhaps I could share what I know a little bit about engineering. And the youth could share something with technology and work with children directly. So it was a sort of wild idea. And SAIER sort of took it on as a research project. Is it possible for an organization whose primary motivation is personal growth to be successful in the mainstream? And at that time, we were working with a company that was a startup. So 3 hours a day, the youth would spend on education, working with children, working on STEM education. And the rest of the time, I would work with them and train them on technology, on electronics and programming, the areas I'm aware of. And so over time, the organization grew. It became too big. There were almost 50 youth I was working with. And it felt like it was becoming more of a commercial unit. It got spun off outside SAIER as a new initiative of its own. And then another company spun off from it. And then we were back at SAIER doing research. So I work on educational research. How do children learn in a more holistic way? Even STEM education, but grounded in who they can be at their best, grounded in what they deeply care about and expressing that. So instead of technology being just cool, technology being for the well-being of all and for personal growth. So this is actually the area of research we work on. And currently I'm the executive of SAIER. I also run one of the schools of SAIER, one of the outreach schools of SAIER, which works with the villages from around the world. So in some way, SAIER has helped me put together all the different parts of what I could do perhaps to help me synthesize it for my growth and for the growth of others. So my slides are only 4 slides long, so it won't take that much time. So I will stop talking here. See, only 4 slides. I am not kidding. Okay, now I should go into presentation mode. So SAIER is, as I said, an umbrella organization, which the goal of SAIER is to support Auroville's efforts to follow its charter. And SAIER conducts a large number of the cultural and educational research and activities in Auroville, based on the vision of Sri Aurobindo and the mother of integral education. It's an umbrella organization. It has over 40 subunits working towards this goal. It coordinates infrastructure development, equipment, continued reflection in units, alignment, realignment, especially when people change, and what are the ways in which we can support uh, the units. But although we call them units, each of them is a star of its own, and it's more like a constellation of many stars. And in addition, SAIER conducts research projects, unending education activities, and has its own publications. So this is the SAIER building. It's right next to what is called the Foundation building in Auroville, in the town hall. This is one of our schools. It's the last school. That's a future school. This is the Nandanam kindergarten, and this is Savitri Bhavan. So under SAIER, there are about 12 schools that are run, that are within Auroville. So we call schools not only from crush all the way to 10th and 12th, whatever grades, it's a sub school. So it means it's a kindergarten. So we have 4 preschools or kindergartens where we do a variety of activities and with children, as well as grounding activities for the teachers. We have 3 primary and middle schools, and we have 2 high schools, and we have 3 resource centers, including libraries and so on. Then SAIER also has schools along the periphery of Auroville for the children in the bioregion, or what we call outreach schools of Auroville. So there are 7 outreach schools of Auroville. Again, one is a preschool and kindergarten, that's Pudi school. 2 are primary and middle schools, the SAIEN school and IKM school. I am the executive of the SAIEN school. And in addition, we have 4 learning centers. So like Ilingyargal, it's a school that people can come at any time to learn in. So it's primarily for the workers of Auroville to support their continued learning and that of their children in the evening, for example. And also we have schools that are committed towards yoga and meditation and healing and so on. So we have continued learning centers. So this is like Auroville as a campus initiative. We have a scholarship and educational fund for continued learning. And we have something called STEM Land, where youth who want to learn about STEM education or engineering can come and learn freely, including having a master's program, it's a residential program. And this is the research work that the youth have presented at international conferences. We have many centers of physical education. So we have Kalari, we have a circus, especially the circus is also for children. We have Aikido, we have 3 sports ground, we also have a nature camp. So under art and culture education, we have 6 centers. We have a performing arts center, we have theater, we have 2 music centers, we have appreciation of film centers, and as well as an open studio for children to come and learn art. We also have centers that work on the research on Sri Aurobindo and the mother, human unity and Sanskrit. So we have 1 center for Sri Aurobindo's works. Yeah. For those of you who know her, Shraddhavan just passed away recently. She's been a big loss to us. But she was a wonderful presence in South Africa. We have House of Mother's Agenda. We also have something on Mother's Flowers. We have a center on human unity. And somebody had just mentioned the Nakashima Peace Table, which is in Unity Pavilion, which is also part of SAIER. We also have Sanskrit Research Institute, as well as making Sanskrit more commonly used and chanting and making it more available in schools. We have one center on Vedic studies, one on evolution of consciousness, and we have a research platform. And we also host young people live and learn in Auroville. So what are the possible things I can see that SAIER has to offer to the network? I guess we could offer, and it depends a lot on what our units or our stars choose to offer. It could be on research on human unity, with Auroville as an example. It could be integral education and how to narrow the gap between the aspiration of integral education and practice. It's, of course, we do it with the schools we have with children in Auroville, but the initiatives we have with the outreach schools are also meant to integrate what is our aspiration about integral education with the reality of schooling. And how do we bring it together, which is actually the aspiration in the NEP. Research on Sri Aurobindo studies, Sanskrit research and Indic knowledge systems, physical education, yoga, art, culture, coloring. Especially for, I think now that COVID is down, to physically meet and have these activities in Auroville. And also very technical skills like electronics, programming, filmmaking, all in the light of integral yoga, not as a separate entity of its own, but all as an offering in the same spirit as everything else that is done, when it's done right in Auroville. Yeah, and that's it. I thought there were too many buildings, so I would just show some photographs from the videos. This is the SAIER building. The conference hall where we have a lot of the workshops. Our schools, future school, last school, kindergarten, Dipanam, Puducherry, lay of painting, TLC, Savitri Bhavan, the circus, physical education. And I actually did that. Not that comfortable, hanging upside down. And of course, art. And this video is available online. And activities with gardening. This is how, I mean, people who have been in Auroville will recognize these places. They are painting. There was cooking actually. Nandanam kindergarten. The books that and publications that we have made. And the activities that children have. That was a SAIER staff quarters that's coming up. Almost ready. This is our transport service. And of course, ATB, awareness through. And I think I finished in time.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much to the organizers. I don't know if you are listening to me well. It's okay. Okay. So it was in 1996. At that time, I was living in India, and we started coming to Colombia with Swami Brahmdev from Auroville Ashram to start talking on Sri Aurobindo and the mother in Colombia. And we used to come for 1 or 2 months every year. And in 2003, I come back to Colombia, and with Camila, we start making the Fundacion Auromira. 2 years later, we shift to this place. Camila has made a very nice video about the place, and we had asked Anurada to show it because sometimes our internet is not very stable. So I don't know, Camila, do you want to say something?
No, hello.
So Anuradha, if you can help us with the videos, thank you so much.
Auromira is a non-profit organization founded in 2003. Our main site is located in Colombia, South America, in a small village called Villa de Leyva.
Auromira in Villa de Leyva is a place inspired in the integral yoga of Sri Aurobindo and the Mother. In 2008, we inaugurate our halls, the meditation hall and the yoga hall. And Tara Didi from Sri Aurobindo Delhi Ashram and Swami Ramdev from Auroville came to enshrine the relics of Sri Aurobindo. Auromira have few residents and receive guests who come for one night or 1 month or whatever they feel to do their sadhana. We offer since the very beginning 4 hours practice. 6 o'clock in the morning we do meditation for 45 minutes. After we have a 1 hour 15 minutes of consciousness of the physical body, yoga asanas, pranayama, gymnastics, tai chi. It depends on the person who facilitates the practice. At 5 o'clock we have 1 hour reading, and at 6 o'clock we have again an hour meditation. We used to receive people from the community to come for the 4 hours practice, but the place remained only for the people who are staying here. We offer them a room, a very simple room with a single or double accommodation and with a bathroom, attached bathroom, and we give them breakfast, lunch and dinner. And in this way they can come and do their individual practice in their free time.
In Auromira, we don't teach. Everyone is free to follow their individual path. We try to create harmony and unity in the collective practice. We are translating and publishing to Spanish some of the works of Sri Aurobindo, the Mother, and also Swami Ramdev.
I feel that Auroville is a perfect place for spiritual growth, growth of consciousness, and union with our divine nature.
Auroville significa para mí transformación, realmente elevar la conciencia.
Es como un oasis para el espíritu. Allá está la posibilidad de trabajar tu cuerpo físico al mismo tiempo que estás observando tus sentimientos, tus pensamientos.
Auromira es para mí un refugio de tranquilidad, de paz y de silencio. Ahí he podido conectar con lo sagrado en mí y en lo que me rodea.
Donde me conecto conmigo misma, donde me alimento espiritual y físicamente y donde encuentro la paz que necesito para hallar las respuestas en mi corazón.
Mira, ha sido la posibilidad de reencontrarme con mi esencia, sanar, recuperarme física, mentalmente.
Auromira para mí es un lugar de transformación, de cambio para mi vida. He encontrado allí muchísima sabiduría, mucho amor.
Auromira, for me, is the birthplace of my spiritual family.
Auromira es un lugar que me ha regalado momentos muy claves para mi vida.
Y me gusta porque hay plantas bonitas y también me gusta porque hay clima rico y hay montañas muy chéveres y hay comida muy rica.
Una de las cosas que más me gusta de Auromira es que es un lugar en donde uno puede ir a practicar su espiritualidad sin necesidad de ser un monje, sin necesidad de ser una asceta. Es un lugar de mente muy abierta, donde la idea es conectarte con tu alma y que el yoga integral sea la vida misma, no importa el estilo de vida que hayas escogido para ti.
Y podemos muchas cosas hacer allá, me gusta todo allá.
Todo está rodeado de naturaleza y de belleza para que puedas mantener presente a cada instante el propósito de tu vida, que es conocerte, que es conectar con la divinidad, que es servir.
Con reflexiones potentes y profundas que en conjunto con el silencio, con la meditación, con la conciencia del cuerpo, con experimentar una vida simple, con una alimentación sana y adicionalmente maravillosa, sin duda ha impactado profundamente mi vida y mi conciencia.
Es un lugar donde todo está dispuesto amorosamente para recibirnos, para contenernos. Es un lugar en donde se manifiesta amor.
Auromira es para mí mi lugar favorito del mundo porque es el lugar en el que cambié mi forma de ver el mundo, de ver mi vida, de verme a mí misma. A través de conocer la obra de madre y de Sri Aurobindo pude observarme y observar como mi realidad de manera diferente.
Y tengo una profunda gratitud porque exista y porque siempre sea como un refugio para todos los que estamos en búsqueda de ese silencio, de esa paz y de encontrarnos cada vez más a nosotros mismos y a la divinidad.
Auromira es un lugar mágico, absolutamente único, donde todo está dispuesto de una manera tremendamente estética, cuidada. Es un reflejo en cada cosita de una entrega absoluta.
Ha sido un soporte en los momentos más difíciles de mi vida. Generosidad sin límites, amistad y apoyo incondicionales.
Se siente el amor, se siente la compasión, se siente el trabajo personal y el trabajo comunitario que ahí se ha hecho. Es un lugar donde yo personalmente he podido transformar muchísimas emociones, transformar muchísimos pensamientos y siempre realmente es un lugar donde hay mucho aprendizaje y renovación interior.
Every time I go to Auroville, I feel a lot of joy, inner peace and happiness because it's a place where I can go and be with myself and do a lot of things.
In 2019, Auromira received a big land about 3 hours from Bogota. It's a dry tropical forest. It's an ecosystem very similar to Auroville ecosystem. But it's having lots of small trees growing, and some areas have the typical dry tropical forest environment. So we are taking care of it, and we hope we can also create another space for the growth of consciousness based on the mother and Sri Aurobindo.
Thank you so much, Anuragaji. Thank you for all. Thank you too.
Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's well. Delighted to be here today and see so many familiar faces. Hope everyone's in good health. I also have here with me from the New York Study Center, Miriam, which of course many of you know very well. Our presentation is going to be essentially a verbal one. We want to give a quick overview of our study circle, its current construct, and then maybe a little bit of the historical of how it came about, which Miriam will cover. So in terms of the structure, I will pass it on to Miriam to talk about how it came into existence, and then she will bring it back to me and I can talk about how we've taken it forward from the past 20 years. Thanks, Miriam, over to you.
Oh, okay. It's lovely and an honor to be here. It's a beautiful event. Thank you very much for organizing this. So as Amrita said, we have a long history here in New York. In 1950s, the center was actually started by Eleanor Montgomery, who had met the mother and was very deeply influenced and inspired by her. So she had a small center in her apartment on Fifth Avenue. And then in 1973, was able to get an apartment on 58th Street on the west side for 3 years, from which there was a very active center program, speakers from the ashram and Auroville came. But in 76, that location stopped, and Ani Nunnally, who many of you know probably, took over the running of the group. And again, it was quite active. And finally, she was inspired to move up to Woodstock to be near Matagiri in 1984. At that point, she graciously gave me the responsibility and this great legacy to carry it on. And so we had monthly meetings in my apartment through 2002, when I then moved out of the city. I do want to say, though, over the years, many individuals who were involved with the group were inspired to do various programs around the city, of course, honoring Mother and Sri Aurobindo, from the Metropolitan Museum to the United Nations, the Consulate of India, and Asia Society. And so here we are now in 2022, and Amrita will tell you how we're doing now. Thank you all. Amrita.
Thanks, Miriam. So as you heard from Miriam, quite the legacy, quite the history there with the New York Study Circle. When I moved to the US back in 2000, I was very much looking to continue my practice and find a community, which all actually started at the Gnostic Center, back when Gnostic Center started in whichever year it was that it started, a long time ago. And I was very much craving it. So I got in touch with Julian at Matagiri and I said, is there a center or a circle in the city? Because Woodstock is a good 2.5 hours away from the city and not accessible on a daily basis, that I can connect with. And unfortunately found that there wasn't one. So what does the child of the mother do? She aspires and then she creates one. So I, through the help of Julian, reached out to other sadhaks in the area, including Mahipal, who now resides in the ashram. And also through him, I found out that Astor was visiting New York, and I met Rohini. So I restarted, I should say, the study circle in December of 2002. So it has been 20 years with their grace in my apartment. And then subsequently, Rohini joined me and Mahipal. Mahipal and I started the study circle or restarted it. Rohini joined, and then later Miriam and others also started joining us. The format of the study circle has been fairly consistent over the years. And we have tried to adhere to their guidance around holding a very quiet and sacred space. So we usually meet once a week for 2 hours, anywhere from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern. And we start with the chanting of Om. And then we are always reading Savitri. We have read Savitri. I've lost track how many times we have read and reread, as many of us in the 20 years that we have been meeting. And then we also pick a book. Currently, we are reading Letters on Yoga too. So it is a consensus-based group. So we always decide which book we want to read based on the aspiration of the group. And we close with meditation to the New Year music or Mother's organ music for 20 to 30 minutes. Those are the consistent pieces. The book that we read, of course, changes as we finish. I have to admit, for 20 years, we have held the space together, alternating between my and Rohini's apartments largely over the years, and has always been in person. The pandemic, of course, transferred us into the virtual world, and we continue to largely meet now virtually, but there is every now and then a gathering in person also for us to be together. There have been many people who have come and joined us over the years and left. New York being a transitory city, people come and do go. But Rohini, myself, and Miriam have sort of consistently been part of it over the years with their grace. So that is a little bit about us. Of course, everyone on this call is welcome if you ever pass through New York City to reach out to us and join us virtually or in person, as the case may be. Thank you.
My namaskar to all Sri Aurobindonian family. I'm pleased to be a part of this group, and I'm happy to represent Sri Aurobindo Society, Puducherry. So I'll take you through a very brief presentation on the same. Just allow me to share it. Is it visible to everybody? Hello.
Yeah, it is visible, Samrat.
Okay, great. So, Sri Aurobindo Society, as you know, the mother is the founder president of Sri Aurobindo Society. And the motto which we follow is to know is good, live is better, and to be that is perfect, which mother has given to us, for which we work. And unlike ashram in Auroville in Puducherry, which is the center of excellence in Puducherry, working where people come and participate. We, as an organization, Sri Aurobindo Society, we go out at different places across the world to propagate what Sri Aurobindo and Mother has taught us. And it's around more than 60 years now that Sri Aurobindo Society has been working. We are a international spiritual cultural non-profit organization. It is recognized by Government of India as a charitable organization, a research institute, and an institution of importance throughout India. So currently we have around 300 branches and centers across the world, which majority of them is in India. There are certain areas of work we have been working in last 6 decades, which includes education, Indian culture, sustainable development, rural development. You all can see these areas on which we have been working. So I'll try to cover the majority of them in one slide each, so that we could reach out to you, and we will be very happy to send you an activity report of society, Sri Aurobindo Society, of what we have been doing in different parts, which you'll be able to know from that, which I'll circulate just after my presentation to all of you. So one of the very ambitious projects we have taken for 150th birth anniversary of Sri Aurobindo is Swarnim Puducherry, that is Golden Puducherry, where we are working in different facets of the city, of the Union Territory Puducherry, to make sure that it emerges as a center for excellence, work which inspire people, and not just intangible infrastructure way, but also works in different areas in culture, in spirituality, in making sure that every aspect of a being is being touched in Pondicherry and for the people of Pondicherry. So some of the work which is being done is for our responsibility to children, which is a very beautiful project which we are doing right now. It is in collaboration with Department of Education, Government of Pondicherry. Okay, then we are working for prison reformation, which is also again a part of Swarnim Puducherry, and this is to make sure that the life of prisoners have a certain dignity. They have areas where they can self-express. They work in more collective way, where they can improve and evolve the life which they have in hand during their prison time. And this particular project has been replicated by different smaller NGOs who are working in prison across the country right now. Then this is one project on palliative care, which is very, very close to my heart as well, wherein we are training a lot of volunteers to take care of terminally ill patients in their homes. And there are right now, the current statistics is around 1,200 patients are being looked after by around 1,500 volunteers within the city of Pondicherry, within the place, within Pondicherry right now. And but we have trained a lot of other over 1,850 volunteers has been trained so far, which covers 180 villages in this intervention. And there are new immersions we keep doing on this, where we are also creating a fellowship for these volunteers who come every year to us to take care of people who are not even being admitted in hospitals. This is a program on called Rupantar, which is for education, and as an organization, education is one of the most important field we have been concentrating from last couple of decades quite a lot. And you'll be very happy to know that one of our programs under Rupantar is not just India, but one of the world's largest grassroots innovation program, where we collect best practices of teachers, we train them, other teachers, we make case studies out of it, and then we replicate such ideas in different schools. And so far, we have reached out to over 2 lakh such schools, replicating the best practices of one teacher. And the teacher, sometimes these teachers' best practices is not even known to the teacher in the next room, in the next classroom. So we are documenting these, making it available to government school teachers. And just to tell you that this particular program is primarily to focus the underprivileged children in government schools. So we have trained over 22 lakh teachers on ground. You'll be happy to know that around 50,000 sessions on ground has been conducted so far in last 6 to 7 years. And now this year, as part of 150th birth anniversary, we are, it's kind of an offering to our nation by creating 25,000 role model schools, which will be experiential learning, joyful learning schools. And so far we have been able to reach out to over 20,000 role model schools in over 30 states and union territories of the country. This particular map actually shows a kind of, the areas where we work in. The ZIIEI program, which is Zero Investment Innovations in Education and education initiatives talks about the innovation question of teachers. The Auro Scholar program is for competence-based learning and incentivizing every child for their learning. Project Inclusion, which is headed by my colleague Dr. Simi, who's a part of this presentation today, which takes care of children with special needs, neurodevelopmental disorder. We train teachers to identify the children with special needs within their classroom and then help them to create a support structure so that they are supported by the existing system. So it has many facets. We work with education officers, students, edupreneurs, schools, aspiring teachers, and the teachers who are teaching already. In rural development, we have holistic rural development programs which we are running right now, and it's called Sarvam. And this has created some great results so far, and we do a lot of celebrations, we do a lot of trainings on we also make sure that there are self-help groups of women self-help groups are being supported by us, and there's it is from education to health to every part is being taken care, so that it comes, a village comes out as a evolved village, and it helps every person living there to have something to contribute and to get something out of that. Then we have a program on leadership, which we do with corporates. There are a lot of leadership trainings we have been doing. One of our programs on management by consciousness is quite a favorite program by these corporates who have understood that it is more of a shared value which creates the real profit, rather than just a certain balance sheet is strengthening through profits. The sustainable development is another area which the society has been working in, which we have been doing a lot of research to use homeopathy in agriculture. We are working in rural entrepreneurship, ecological rehabilitation, and we also have created sustainable architecture to demonstrate and inspire the ecosystem we work in. In health, we have our own center which does a lot of work in research in homeopathy, and during COVID, we have reached out quite a lot, not just in Puducherry but other parts of the country, to make sure that we can build immunity through homeopathy, and it has shown some great results so far. The new Global Center for Integral Yoga is a very new thing which we have started, and this is going to be one particular center doing research on integral yoga as a whole. And through this, we will also propagate the right practices. We will also trying to make it a place where anybody and everybody who wants to know more into integral yoga could participate and stay. So this is a very new center which is being created as part of 150th birth anniversary. Youth and women is another area where we have been working, and since last over 25 years we have been conducting these youth camps, and this is from these youth camps we have been able to nurture a lot of leaders, and today a lot of people who are taking care of different divisions have come actually through our youth camps. So these ranges from 7 days to 21 days, and a lot of people from different states in the country have been participating in that. I'm trying to rush through it, and we're very happy to get a lot of support from the highest leadership of the country, and we feel that the world is preparing for a big change. Will you help? Is on that basis we have been working, and very happily I must tell you that there has been a great support which we have got. As I told you that we have in Rupantar, we have MOUs with over 30 government for education transformation in government schools. So I know I have rushed quite a lot, keeping the time, being the last one. You have a certain responsibility in hand. So, but I'll be very happy to answer anything if anybody would like to ask me on Sri Aurobindo Society's journey. Thank you.
So we will conclude the evening, and thank you so much for being here. And as I said, our last webinar will be after 2 weeks on 12th August, where again 6 or 7 centers will present. And it has been really lovely to listen to everybody. Thank you so much.